Hello, this is Sigma, and I am sitting down with another demo review, this time taking a look at Vintage's demo. Vintage is a South African team playing against Masters, which is another South African team that's at the top of their league right now, so hopefully they're able to show us a good game here. Now, I'd like to before I get into this fully, I'd just like to extend my apologies to anybody who did send me a demo over the last month and I didn't end up reviewing, but unfortunately I got busier than I expected and didn't have as much time to do this, and all signs point to me continuing to be too busy to do too many demo reviews. So unfortunately this will be just one demo review here, and then I probably won't have time to put out too many more, but you're still welcome to send me a demo. I just can't promise that I can get to it. So, that aside, let's enjoy the game that we have set up for us today. So, let's get right into it. So coming to mid, standard stuff, equalizing slowly, etc., whatever. So let's see how the demo exchange goes on this mid. Their demo's going house. He's a bit slow. The other demo beats him there and gets some early damage on him as he comes out the door, but their demo doesn't take too much. He's only at 130, so they're doing okay here. And look, Master's just sitting at their train. Their medic actually dying to a long-range rocket from the looks of it, or was it from the? No, it was a long-range rocket just taking spam from that soldier. So nice mid from Vintage, supporting their roamer jump with spam and basically allowing them to take that with nobody from Masters getting aggressive on them, other than like the early damage they took on their demo. There really was no threat of them losing mid there, since the other team chose not to push them. So interesting choice not to move off their train, but since I do know that this team is much better, maybe they're playing, or well, much better, I don't know about that, but Masters is at the top of the South African League, so perhaps they're just playing defensive because they think they can just out-DM their way through mid, which apparently is not the case. So this round should be pretty much a wrap, and I would be moving... I'd like to move quickly here with the red Uber because they killed the enemy medic on mid. They didn't have to pop, they didn't get really contested along Spire, so it should be easy to take last. And even though they delayed for quite a while, I think they're still going to be okay here because the other team has no way to answer this Uber, even though they got to charge most of it. Now, I like that scout putting some time on point there before, while the Uber's still going on, because the enemy combo was hiding in spawn, and it's not the cleanest take I've ever seen of last, but they're able to clean it up. So, moving right along to the second mid here, I'll just fly onto mid and see how this one goes. Okay. One scout's coming valley. Is the other scout coming choke? Yeah, he is. I like the way they split up the scouts like that. I'll just pause and make a note. That's probably my favorite way to do the scouts, because you have one guy valley who's essential just to know if there's a scout coming closet or something like that, and the scout coming choke is completely safe from any damage, so you have that one scout that comes in for sure with a second crit heal. Coming off a choke, when your medic gets in, you can buff that guy and really play aggressive with it, and then you have the essential guy who checks to make sure you're not getting, owned by somebody playing sneaky. So again, nice spam from red, nice aggression moving up across point. This jumping soldier does... oh shoot, well he did enough damage to the medic for blue to finish cleaning up, but red does get the cap here. And all they need to do is basically just use the fact that they have more fragging classes alive to not let the other team get in. And they play suitably aggressive. I really do like the aggression of this, because it's really not giving Masters a chance to let whatever more passive strategy they're doing really get anywhere. And then because blue bled off a lot of players there in that kind of semi-defense or retake attempt on mid, where they lost their medic and then slowly lost people one by one, this should be another easy take on last, because they have the charge advantage running into the base and they have several picks, so it's not like they're gonna get anything sneaky happening to them. And even a pick on that scout, and they have scouts in, so they're gonna go now without the charge. I'm not verify like that, but just based off all the picks, then I think it was fine, as long as their combo was supported, which looks like they were a little bit slow on the draw, but this is, yeah, this is over. There's no way. Okay, so far Master's kind of looking like they didn't come in to play. They're just walking to mid and then trying to hit a bunch of shots while being all clustered up on their own train, which is, you know, not really a good strategy, especially on Badlands mid. It's very well defined how you can be aggressive and taking advantage of this mid against a more passive team. So that time, Blue noticeably changing it up, sending both their scouts to point, and really taking advantage of the fact that their demo's there faster. So Red's totally locked out, and I didn't even see the demo there, so where the heck is he? Okay, he's in yard. Maybe he lagged out or something. I wasn't watching from the start, but it's a decent decision not to go to mid. When you lose a scout that early and your demo has no presence, you're just suiciding if you're going in there. And now, yard is taken from them, but they have... okay, pausing here. What the heck? Where's the demo? Where's the demo? He's at forward. Okay, so this is why they're going to lose Spire here, is because the demo split off from the combo and went forward, because the demo can overwhelmingly hold Spire from either bottom left or battlements, since he can just continually hit anybody who's up there with stick after stick and force them to get off. But for some reason their demo split up from their combo, and maybe it was because they were getting pressured so hard in yard, but I think he could have chosen to back up with the combo there, and he would have been okay, but now they're going to basically be forced to lose Spire, and I think they're already backing up because they realize that. No demo means can't block the point, so, oh Jesus, and there's a scout on last. Well, I missed that, but yeah, they could have held that Spire, because it's like they had even Ubers, so they're, you know, they didn't have to be afraid of engaging the enemy combo, and as long as their demo was there to knock people off, they would have been fine. So, a bit of an error there. Their demos looks, yeah, he's slow to mid again, so he's missing some of the jump. I don't know exactly what. Now Blue, yeah, they're really just punishing with their scout demo here, because the demo's faster, and he puts out damage on the scouts early just by walking up with his scouts like that. And there's no answer that Red has for that. It's, basically, as sad as it is for this to come down to just one person, if the demo beats your demo to mid on Badlands, he can do that to you every single time, and there's absolutely nothing your combo can do about it, and there's absolutely nothing your scouts can do about it, as long as the enemy scouts are there on point to block you. But they have Uber for last at least, so you know, it's basically okay. Now the other team pushes in. Counter pop, 2 picks already, so this, I would be already looking for Red to make a push out here, but their demo doesn't, kind of gets in an awkward situation, and now they've got the high ground taken away from them. But those early picks on the Uber are enough for them to push off this, and that's why I said at the start of this, as soon as they killed those 2 people right at the start, I would already be looking to push, because now we're like 15 seconds later in the demo, and they have everybody still in their last room, so already, this push is going to fail. Well, they're not even going to go because they're afraid of these scouts backcapping, but that could have been a Spire retake. Like, there's no reason not to go retake Spire. Now, they sent 1 scout out at it, but he's going to die. Like, I guarantee it that he's going to die. Because he was going out, you know, against the team, it's obvious. Now, the scout loss doesn't really hurt them there. And I guess it's an acceptable risk, but there's, you know, they could have just gone with 4 people and covered doors and been fine. So, you know, that's a tough call to make though, because it was still questionable whether or not they're going to win that exchange when with their height advantage taken away. Now they do have Uber advantage, and they should know it because the other medic died and theirs lived, and the other medic is even in the base. So this is actually a point where I'd try to push the combo. Although, oh geez, they got forced at last. So that's one unfortunate thing. But yeah, I would have tried to push the combo there just because, off that Uber advantage, the other team is forced to play passive, so they can't pop you easily since they need to be afraid of you. And now they're in the same bad situation they would have been anyways because they ended up getting forced, which is unfortunate. But yeah, Blue basically did overextend on that play, and it would have been easy enough to get the Uber onto them on bottom lobby, or at least make them leave the base and get a push on Spire. But now, you know, that just boils down to they come into last with Uber, you don't have Uber, there's no reasonable way to defend that on this map anyways. You can't. There's maybe Guller Wash you can, but we'll just leave that one where it lies. So is their demo actually skipping the stair jump? I think that's why. I would, yeah, that's the problem. He's skipping the stair jump, that's why he's so slow. So, red doing a bit better this time, only losing 1 scout, but their health is really low, so I think this mid is already done for. And there's blue with the double soldier jump just to seal the deal. It looks like red backed up without even sending their medic out of house, and that's fine because you can't win that mid in that situation. You just cannot, like, absolutely cannot win when you take that much damage from the enemy demo right at the start. And now, looks like they were a bit delayed on bottom mid. I don't really like that soldier suicide right there because, like, it's even Ubers, so it's not like he needs to make a play for last. And, what the? Okay, hang on. So what they did is they backed their combo, like, their combo was on gray for a while, despite the fact they were only like 1 or 2 down off mid. So what I would have done there is I would have held choke tight with the combo and demo man, and I would have not let them get into yard because, like, at least you can have an Uber exchange there, and you can always make them back up since you have the defensive Uber, so you can hold more ground. Like, they didn't need to give up the entirety of yard. And then, secondly, once they did give it up, they sat on gray for, I think, a bit too long, because that's really the worst place to defend Spire from. Like, either bottom left with your demo or bats with your demo is an acceptable place to defend Spire if you have to give up yard, which I don't think they did there, but they did. And then they ended up engaging the other team with their scouts and roamer while their combo was still running up to bat. So they took what could have been an Uber exchange and then a 6v6 fight, and they kind of just, their teams fractured, and they took it into a 3v3 and another 3v3. And now they've already lost this round because there's, you know, no reasonable way for them to hold last against a push that just comes bottom mid when their demo man's still dead. So here's the push coming bottom mid. Well, I say that, but, you know, if they Uber, then the other team, they give time for their spawns, but they do lose a few frags on the Uber. And their position after the Uber is a bit weak. This was something I noticed on the push before as well, was, that one time where they had the better Uber defending last, the 2 picks right away, is they didn't have the high ground, they just dropped a point and stayed there. And you don't need to do that if your demo man, like, still has it sticked. At most you need to just send a soldier down there who can jump right back up. But now their combo has the low ground, which can let this, the Masters team really come in and abuse them. But a couple frags, and that's no longer an option for them. So I would like to see that heavy go back on the scout and then push, because they have numbers. Oh, they have a soldier lagging out. Well, that's unfortunate. Okay, well, putting aside the lag out, you know, even with that lag out, I would still push that because they had numbers advantage. They could have, like, immediately pushed the enemy team out fairly easily and gotten cap time on Spire. But with 1 scout on heavy, it's not really an option because you really need both those scouts to do that. And yeah, I'm not sure if this is like just a match or practice, like whether they're. Oh, jeez. Okay, hang on. So what happened there was basically their medic, for some reason, didn't get into spawn and tried to keep the heal beam on their soldier, and I really don't know why they did that against a suicide. Or maybe it's just because they were confused because of the fact that their soldiers lagged out and they had miscoordination. But yeah, basically, if you're standing in this position here where I'm flying right now, and this is paused, so I guess I'm just gonna talk for a bit. I don't know how long this pause is, but, you know, gives me some chance anyways. If you're standing in this position here where I'm flying right now, there's no way at all that you're gonna get forced or die to a suicide like this medic just did. And all you do is you just run back in, then you close the door. Like, you just run straight back, no problem. This medic stepped back into spawn, but spawn's not safe until you close the door, so that they ended up dying to the 3rd rocket there. And that's, you know, possibly just because the soldiers lagged out and they were confused, but I've actually seen some medics choose to hold it right here, where it's absolutely impossible to get hit by anything. I don't like that, because then your combo has, you know, no ability to spam doors. Like your soldier is here, you can't really do any damage to this side, so if they just come to top right, then you're in trouble. But there's nothing wrong with going back in there right when the guy jumps in. So let me just speed this up until we resume. And just like, I guess a quick summary so far is like, their positioning off of Ubers could be better. Their demo man needs, like, basically, I mean, at this level of play, your demo man just needs to be to Badlands mid, as fast as the other demo, or there's nothing you can do. Like this is why their mids have been so difficult so far, and it was impressive of them to be able to win the first couple mids because Masters basically just played passive, and then they decided, oh, we're faster, we'll just play aggressive, and there's nothing that they can do about that. So I'd actually like them to see them switch it up. If their demo can't match the speed, then you may as well just delay the demo and have them jump at from 260 health and have the combo come out of Valley where they can't be locked out as easily. So here we go. And this is pretty much like a write-off because they have Uber pushing into this last and yeah, you know, basically coming down to that lag out and their medic dying to a suicide, which, you know, you should try not to do. Okay, so the demo did do the stair jump that time. So yeah, now he's pretty quick. That's the stuff. Yeah, look at this. Look at that. Damage on the scouts. Well, he dies right away because his scouts are a little slower coming in. But I think he got enough damage for them to win this. They just jump a soldier and run after them with scouts, then they're okay. And what fell apart for them there is, well, the demo dying for one doesn't help. But I think they were still okay at that juncture. But what they failed to do was they failed to move their combo forward to follow up with the jump, because honestly, you may feel safe on mids, like the well-defined mids like Granary and Badlands you play a million times. Let me just pause it so I don't miss what's going on in Spire. You may feel safe coming out of house and standing on these trains as a combo because that's what you've done a million times and that's what you do on lower levels as you're starting to get starting to learn this, but that's not how you can, like, that's not the way to capitalize on the damage that their demo had done there. What they should have been doing would be pushing the combo to point like immediately, because what's going to happen is the other team, when they get aggressive, is going to get aggressive on this train, and if you're moving forward against a soldier that jumps too far past you, then he's going to miss his shots on you as a medic. So it's actually safer and more effective for your combo to be moving forward immediately behind that jump, because you're not going to take spam damage as you're moving up if you have a soldier on them. So that's basically what the roamer is letting them do, and they just missed to capitalize on it, basically, as they didn't have a full follow-up for their roamer's jump, and as a result, they basically got out DM'd, they got out damaged because the other demo was still alive, and that was that. So let's go to Spire. Looks like they're trying to poke and make a play here, but at this point I think it's too late because the cap's too far along. So I would just keep everybody alive and try to hold this last Uberless, although like a Pyro is really nice on this last when you don't have Uber. And there's a Pyro, nice. Now the other team popped like super early in bottom. Okay, I'll just stop here right now. Comment on that push from bottom right coming out of Masters. That push is something you use when you have an Uber advantage that's only like 10 seconds long, and you don't go upstairs, you go like right to the point, because at that point you're basically saying, I don't have time to run into top middle, we need to push from this non-optimal location to get this Uber in time and really put the pressure on point. And it's an iffy push, even with an Uber advantage, and you really need to take it in quick, rather than like taking it in, multiing on soldiers, and then not really even making it to point before the Uber's worn off. Now here, Masters had like 20 seconds of Uber on the other team, and they knew that because it was like the most obvious, like, medic death on mid, their medic didn't die, their medic didn't have to pop, blah blah blah. They could have easily seen how big their advantage was, and they could have just done a normal push and won this. But now, Vintage, fortunately for them, has a pretty good chance to defend because, well, they've got two people down, and that pretty much kills it, but they had a chance to defend there because the other Uber didn't, totally mess them up as it could have. Okay, so the demo misses the jump. So at this point already, they know the enemy demo is being fast, so I would not send the demo house. I would either go balcony, or I would go valley. And see, he goes house, he gets damage on him right away, and there to disadvantage this mid. Really nice double soldier bomb though. Holy smokes, really nice job there. But I think they might, no, they win. Nice job. Okay, so there's a rare instance of soldiers doing something on Badlands mid. And, well, I can't really say exactly what the error was for Masters there. They basically, I guess it would have been the scouts. The scouts would have been out of position for the soldiers to be that effective. Because if you have a scout on the train, then a soldier who jumps was going to die, like, as soon as he lands. So, that's what I'd give that to. But very nice aggression coming out of the soldiers. I'm not sure if that was a, like, pre-done call or if that was based off of something that occurred on mid to make them do that. But well done either way. Oh, nice pop there, right before the second rocket hit. But not much pressure onto the enemy combo and bats. But the enemy demo is nowhere to be seen, so I think they've got this cap, and they do. Now here, they just kept Spire, but they have a massive Uber disadvantage, so I would not move forward. They should actually be sitting like way back on yard, and it looks like they're playing it pretty safe, because as Masters, I would at least be looking to push this Uber advantage. I think it's difficult to take an Uber onto Spire when the other team has their full numbers up coming off your last. But if they come into the base, then you have full opportunity to do it. So I would just play as Vintage is playing and stay back. Although I personally favor staying like way back here, because when they just busted a drop down all of a sudden and jump in your face, this is too close. This is too close and you'll die against a soldier that really knows how to take that Uber onto you. But it looks like, what the heck? You're not going to push like 20 seconds later, are you? They had an Uber advantage 20 seconds ago. Don't push on it now. Please don't go to that drop down soldier. Please. Oh goodness. Okay, so they dropped the pocket. Hopefully that's going to stop the push from Masters, because it was a misguided push in the first place. Oh, they get the force out. Now that's interesting, but what can they do with it? This is the problem. They have so many people down, and they're losing further people because they didn't back up out of a 3v6 that they could have. And now, even though they have this Uber, it's like a terrible Uber on last. And I don't, well, okay, they killed the enemy mech, so never mind what I was about to say, but yeah, that was, you know, a nice force, but they lost too many people doing it. And if Vintage's medic hadn't overcommitted there, then they would have been, you know, okay to, or Vintage would have been able to take last off that, based on the fact that they could force them back up and then come back in with an advantage. So basically, I fault that first mistake from Masters on pushing too late, and then second mistake was losing more people than they needed to after they already got the force out. But then Vintage returned the favor by running in bottom right, which, you know, I'm okay with, but the medic overcommitted. Like, they have an Uber. You're not going to push, you're not going to win within 10 seconds, so there's no reason to actually walk to point as a medic. And, oh geez. Also dying without being able to surf a rocket there. It's unfortunate. So all that Vintage can do here is they can make a play on the enemy medic, or they can keep bodies up and get out of mid. And it looks like they're trying to make a play on the enemy medic, but the enemy medic smartly, or perhaps coincidentally, pushed back to yard since they have since they had a scout on them who didn't manage to get the force to get a kill. And now it's basically round should be over because there's no demo man. They don't have their demo up, so they can't contest Spire, and they have the Uber advantage, Uber disadvantage, and all Uber disadvantages. So I'd get like a pyro, a heavy here, and the best that you can do is, okay, well, one thing that you can do when you have at least your pocket or your demo up, like not in time to defend Spire, but perhaps in time to move up, is you can't forward hold, because that does kill time from the enemy team. It doesn't let them like just come in bottom mid without popping. it does force them to climb spire. So that's one thing you can do. They kind of just tried a soldier suicide in top mid instead, which I don't like as much because you can accomplish the same thing with your combo up there, and there's not really any risk of people getting behind you if you have it practiced. You know you're covering all the doors. So yeah, that's one thing you can do. It's too late for them to do now. Second thing is basically just keep buffs on like as many people as possible. Like if this heavy has 450 off of a crit buff as the Masters pushes in here, there's a chance that it's going to make the difference. But I think at this point, with already a soldier down, massive uber disadvantage, okay, good crit buff on that heavy, but I don't think that it's possible to defend against this uber unless Masters really messes it up here. These sticks are already off point, so you know this is pretty much over this round. Yeah, and there it goes. All it takes is a scout to come in. And this is not a North American rule set, so this is going to keep going. Woohoo! More demo time. Okay, so the demo misses the first jump, misses the second jump. So I don't like to harp on a player too much, but like when you make those mistakes, then your mid is pretty messed up. Looks like the other demo was slow as well. So they're not in such a bad position, but their demo is basically out of the fight. First pick goes to them, but they lose 2 immediately, their demo's out of it. So as a medic, I would just get out of this, because, whoa, never mind. Nice, I would have ran, but apparently they were not up for that, and apparently that was a better decision, so, nice on them, I guess, getting more spam damage out of their demo. Even though he was low health, he was still putting out damage, so excellent take of mid there. Even though, yeah, you know, whatever. So the other team is pushing back onto mid, which is like almost a sign of disrespect for Vintage, because you push mid with an uber against an uber when you have spawn disadvantage. What ends up happening is like a few people die at the start of the uber exchange, inevitably, like just happened. The ubers are popped, and then things come to a standstill for 10 seconds, which gives enough time for the spawns from the team with mid to pretty much get back in, and not enough time for the team that doesn't have mid to get in. So basically, doing that kind of push is saying, we're so much better than you, we're just gonna like take this mid, despite the fact that you have an advantage on this push, and Vintage, deserving more respect, does not lose mid. Or, you know, I say respect, but like, it could have just been a bad call. They could have just not realized what the heck was going on. So, pushing yard immediately. I guess the other demo isn't here, so it's a nice call. I was going to make a note that they needed their demo to push yard, but the other demo wasn't there either, so I wasn't quite paying attention, and, you know, worked out okay. But they lose their medic, and that's painful this early into a spire push, because they need some, like, buffs to get up there. Sending a scout up. Is the other demo dead? No. Where is he? He's in a house? Okay, whatever. Anyways, they have the spire like extremely lit, so at this point it benefits them quite a bit for this like soldier to just be behind them. And I would have gone upstairs rather than engaging the combo there, because they did know he was there, so I don't know what he expected other than to meet the buffed pocket at the door. But like in some situations it really hurts to have somebody behind them, but when you have the point that close to a back cap, it actually stops them from pushing as long as you have somebody like somewhere behind them. So losing people that easily and dying that quickly is painful, because now they can't hold mid and they can't threaten a back cap. So looks like they're just going to try to make a play on the medic. Gets the pop. So now this is a seesaw situation. What's going to happen here is red should basically get this uber and then push mid off of it, because their spawns should be back in time. The roamer can just follow it up. So I would be moving up as them already. The other team's jumping in, so it is a little risky to do that, because you don't want to have your medic die at 90%. But they seem a little too eager to hold this gray bridge, because you can't really do much from there. Like it's a place to move through. It's not a place to hold, because you don't actually defend out any door that well. And you're not able to really defend the spire that well. But they do manage to make a nice play from their scouts and get a lot of frags. And see, the only problem here is that their combo, like the one advantage they had on that push, they didn't have position. Where the heck's the combo? Gotta find them. At last, okay. That's fine now because they lost too many people to continue the push. But the one big advantage they had there was the force. They had the Uber advantage because their armor had forced it out across mid. And then they didn't use the Uber, and they like made a play with their other players, which I think it's fine to do that if you have a disadvantage and you think you have time for the spawns to come up for last, because you make a play. If it doesn't work, you know, it's okay, you spawn, you keep the Uber that you have, good enough. But when you have the Uber advantage, why not use it? Because like, if they just Ubered onto the enemy combo there would have been a massive amount of guaranteed frags, and they would have easily been able to take that Spire back. Sure, they used the Uber for it, but like, come on. They got the medic without even using the Uber, and now they get back capped because their demo was spamming 6 in top mid rather than having the point trapped. Or maybe he had it trapped and didn't react quick enough, so that's unfortunate. But yeah. Basically, yeah, the way I like to play, you know, you make a play with your flank if you're gonna say, we're looking to win the next push. If you're looking to win the next push, then you make a play with your flank and you keep the Uber, because that gives you an advantage into the next push. But they'd already done that. So if you want to win this push, you initiate with the combo rather than the flank. That's all I have to say. Okay, so I missed what happened with the demo on mid, but their demo is like really lit and dead, so as a medic, I would not even come out of house here, but since he did come out of house, I'd just back up immediately, and that's a smart decision, backing up immediately out of there. A little risky, because if a soldier had bombed, it would have been a fairly easy frag on the medic, but, you know, it's okay, because you lived, and as long as you have results, then it's all okay. Demo's flanking and dies, so that's actually really, really, really good for red, because if that demo had been with the combo, they would have just gotten spammed like way the heck out. And now they're blue actually never capped mid because they were so hungry for that medic frag, and as a result they have no spawns to help this hapless combo. So now you just come in, Uber, you save people, and it's game over, man. Game over, man. Now just don't make the same mistake they did. Please just like stack mid rather than pushing out for the medic frag. Now one thing I can talk about there is actually unpause. This whoa, Jesus, what the? Okay, this position here, where the medic's standing. This is actually like the most predictable place to stand as a medic on red, because it like fits the psychological like comfort of being close to your side, so you can back out easily, and yeah, that's basically it. Like, it feels like you can back out quickly, but you're actually too far from the house door for a jumping soldier to you know, if a soldier jumps you, you can't back out in time, basically, and that's what happened there. Now, the side effect of standing here, where it seems to like make you feel comfortable and like make sense, is that everybody knows that you're here. When they jump, they always expect you to be right here, and as a result, you die easily in 2 rockets to soldiers like that, unless you get a surf, which, I mean, you can get pretty consistent at it. I think their medic maybe just needs more practice, like more awareness of when a soldier jumps, so you can surf away into valley or something like that. But there's no reason to take that first rocket so easily in the first place. If you just like stand here, you make their jump super awkward, because every soldier is going to jump out of here and they're going to jump fast and long to get like as closest to you as possible, so that if you actually are standing in that standard position, you can back up like easily back towards house if they take a short jump, and a short jump is just slower anyways, so you give your team more time to react. But if you stand here, they take a fast jump, they go past you, so you can dodge, like absolutely for sure you can dodge that first rocket. This also gives you like, you know, the ability to jump off into valley easily, the ability to just move forward behind this train or jump on this train easily, and that further shortens the ability of the enemy soldier to jump, so it makes it really, really hard to hit. I actually favor this position a fair bit. I wouldn't say like 100%, because I don't want people to, you know, figure out my patterns and know to jump to here against me, but like this is a nice spot, or this is a nice spot, because you're not capping, but you're actually able to get back into house when that soldier jumps you. So, yeah. The same thing kind of happens on Greenery mid. Every single medic will stand on like there's that ramp, like the health pack, the ramp, the small ramp like leading up to point. You always stand at the top of that ramp. Why? It's like you feel comfortable there, but you're so obvious exactly where you are. So like, I pick a random spot. I stand like over at the right box or something like that. So they jump in. It's like, where's the medic? They can't get that first rocket because they have to look for me first, and they're almost guaranteed to be jumping into the place that it makes sense for me to be at. But when you're not like in a straight DM fight anymore, and the only threat that's coming up to you is that jumping soldier, then you just mess with him by standing in a different position, and you don't have to die to stuff like that. So there's my like 3-minute long diatribe about like how to stand on a point while you're capping it as a medic. I'm not a nerd or anything. Okay. So mind games, right? Oh my god, this demo's jumping. Oh my god, he's got sticks, but nice awareness. Not running into the sticks, and now they have an advantage because they have 2 picks. I just push right now. Like, demo's down, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. But no, get off the gray bridge. It's not that nice. It's not even like, there's no grass there, there's no couch. Don't sit in gray. Go push. You have the demo kill still. Yes. So this is pretty fast. Like, I feel it's a bit slower because I paused and yelled about gray bridge for a bit, but pretty fast. Nice push, nice decision making. Decision making? I can pronounce words. They should have this. Medic, yeah, nice job just continuing to move up when that scout comes in. Yeah, using the soldier as a block, like, intuitively, you back up against the scout as a medic, but it's wrong. You run forward and you clip through your soldier because that makes the shot so much more difficult, and he has to hit the soldier some instead of you. So that's the way to survive. So now they have a commanding Uber advantage. The other team is not in a great position to block the Spire, so they get the scout up quickly, which is really nice. I don't like seeing teams like send scouts flank. I like seeing teams send scouts Spire because look at this flippin' crazy cap time. The other team had time to like go into lobby and move back out, and guess what? Already capped. So they did have an Uber advantage, but it's not a big enough one to actually seal the round. So let's see this full proper push. Basically just waiting. Like, I mean, you know, it was an advantage. I would have pushed it maybe if they were a bit quicker in the first place, but now I would have waited to get buffs. And I think actually this... What? Okay, that push should have failed because they didn't buff before they came in, and they went like Uber against Uber, although I can accept the mistake for losing track of it there because they did have a big advantage on Spire, and it's easy to lose track when you're sitting 100%, you're like capping Spire, you still feel you have the advantage even though it was gone. So waiting to buff is good when you're going without an advantage because then you have that extra health at least. But anyways, the reason it worked was because they just got a scout on point right when they Ubered in, and there's nobody watching point because the enemy demo was doing who knows what the heck. So nice play from Vintage. Well, I guess, you know, kind of a mistake for Masters more than anything, but, you know, whatever. Whatever, man. Okay. So went to mid. Blue demo was quicker. Red demo takes... Ow, ow. Actually, that's a lot of damage, so I wouldn't even commit the combo. Just get out. Very good decision there. So just like their demo getting drilled by sticks, and a scout eating some sticks as well. And that pretty much seals the deal. As your demo gets, you know, outplayed on mid. Oh god, and their medic died to a soldier. So this is like over. I don't know. The medic's out there, but I'd like almost rather just stay alive than even try for a play here because it's so obvious like what you're going to do, and they didn't have time to hide anybody because they were backing up. So they could at least have 6 up to defend this last. Oh god, just push. The demo just spawned. There's no way it was sticked. Okay, so yeah, there's nothing they can do. There's no way to defend this. And there it goes. I mean, even if that scout hadn't just gotten this quick cap in, it was overwhelmingly bad for Vintage. No Uber, 4 people spawning, no way to buff them. Other team coming in buffed from the Spire cap. Just a mess. Just a total mess. So that's just basically a result of the soldier getting their med after the mid. And now we come into another mid fight. Blue demo going Valley this time. Oh, both demos mixing it up. This demo coming off of bats. Looks like he absolutely destroyed those scouts. Some nice pipes. Air shots coming out. DM mode is turned on here. Now, where the heck did that soldier go? They outnumber them. Are they just going in together? Oh, geez, no, get them, shoot the same guy. Okay, rule of thumb. When you're doing something that's, like, you can suicide to force or kill the medic, that's fine. That's when you go with, like, an inferior number of players to theirs and just, like, try to make something happen, then you go for the medic. It's, like, accepted. But when you're going to win the fight, because this was, like, a 4v2 at the start, just kill the heavy class. Even though he's a buffed soldier with 300 health, he's going to eat that damage like crazy, and the medic's going to be dancing around. So what happened there is their soldier went for the medic, their scout went for the soldier. I don't know where the heck the other guy, I guess he's here. Maybe he was a spawn, so maybe I'm mistaken. But if they just double teamed that soldier, he would have gone down. Like, a 300 health soldier does not match up against a scout and a soldier. As odd as it may seem, two players do beat a combo if they're fighting classes, as long as they're not like at low health already. So this round is like kind of doomed for them. They're trying to make something happen on Spire, but they didn't make it happen. And their demo's off bats now, because he's chasing the other demo. Bottle fight? Oh, dies to a roller. And now this is over. Because, yeah, they have no spawns. The medic may as well just run down with Ubersaw. And, you know, that always happens when you run down these with Ubersaw, so. GG's called. And that's the end of the demo. So, if anybody's still with me here, after listening to way too much about me talking about, like, where you stand on, like, certain situations of certain points as a medic on certain maps, just a side effect of me playing medic for way too long, let's just summarize this. So, Vintage won the early mids because, despite the fact that Master's demo was beating their demo there, their demo scouts were playing too passive, whereas Vintage demo scouts were playing aggressive. And just having confidence in moving forward as a team on this map works incredibly well on mid. And that's why, like, soldier jumps are so popular. That's why Valley plays jumping while soldiers are so good. But yeah, basically all the you can do to counter that is have your scouts deny the jumping soldiers, and for your scouts to not take a bunch of damage from the demo, they need to be spread out and far apart and not like way back at the train. So that's what was winning Vintage the first few mids, was that the nice like play from their demo scout, just being aggressive. But then Masters had the faster demo, so they said, none of that now. Our demo's faster, we can be more aggressive than you. And then they did that, and then continued, basically just destroyed them mid after mid. And really, you know, you have to have a demo match their speed. There's really like no counter. You can kind of try to slip around it by like delaying the demo, doing jumps out of Valley, doing jumps with your demo, like not even going to mid until like 940 and coming in with everybody buffed, so you at least have a health advantage. But when you come down to it, all these things are just tricks. So having a demo that hits mid 945 is a big deal, and at the top levels of TF2 you can't win Badlands without that, or like really any map. If you have a slower demo, then their demo just knows how to do too much damage to you. So it's just something to practice. As much as I hate to just like rip on just that, that's the primary reason they lost so many of those mids. And then at times, like their medic didn't surf rockets too much, so it's basically just a thing to get used to, and maybe something you can even practice like in your own server with your soldiers, is just like standing with your back turned to a soldier and listening for him to jump, and then surfing his second rocket, because soldiers will fire like as they're gonna what a good roamer will do is he'll jump you, he'll delay his second shot, and then as he lands on your head, he'll hit you with that second rocket, so it does like over 100 rather than, you know, 60 from the top of his jump. So you just get used to that timing, like the timing that it takes for a soldier to get close to you without even looking at him, and then you just surf the rocket. You just jump, crouch, you just surf away, because it makes it absolutely impossible for that second shot to hit you, and you can use it to like get a better position just by strafing into a window or something. So that's something to work on, because I don't think I saw their medic doing any surfing, and that is really the only tool that you have at your disposal to survive on flat ground, like in yard or bridge against a jumping soldier. And I feel there was times their medic could have survived and didn't, because they didn't didn't surf a rocket, either because they weren't aware of the jumper, and basically you just have to listen for that and be ready to jump and to surf it, even if you don't see that soldier, or if like they just weren't into the surfing thing. So there's that. Standing in predictable locations, I talked about that a lot in the middle of the demo for the medic. Just like, you think when you're playing it like at a high level, then it actually becomes more optimal to stand in seemingly non-optimal locations. So it's just like one more layer to think about, is like, you want to stand in a location, but you have to evaluate if that's actually a good location, or if it feels good and it has no benefit to, like, because basically what it comes down to is like the two corners of mid thing. You're not going to be able to get inside against a bomber on either corner. Like, as long as you're on point, the bomber will be able to hit you. So the back corner is devalued because of the fact that you're expected to be there. And if you take away all the metagame, where a soldier prior to jumping will think he knows where you are, then every corner is equal. So you may as well just pick the corner that would be weird for you to stand in against that kind of position. And that's just the thing. And like playing the doors too, like that one death on last, where you let the soldier get 3 rockets. Like, you just be proactive to not let yourself die to stuff like that. Basically, like, you have the plan already in place. If a soldier jumps from bottom mid, I'm just gonna run like right out of here. You don't need to stay healing anybody during a suicide, because it's a suicide, so its goal is just to kill you, so you just try to stay alive. What else have we got? Scouts, I barely even talked about the scouts at all, but I did like what they were doing on mid, was splitting lower and upper, and it was working well at the start, but then once the enemy demo started punishing them, then there was nothing they could do about it. And I really do like to see a team who send their scouts immediately to Spire rather than worrying about the house or something, because that's much better terrain for a soldier to take care of, and the scouts just put great cap time on Spire, so nicely played by them there. A mistake that I saw from time to time was just like the way they would initiate pushes. And I talked about this in the middle of the demo, but I'll just finish off this with the final recap, is you always want to lead a push. Like, if you're going to win a push, you lead it with your combo. If you're not going to win a push, and you're only trying to, like, make presence, you're, like, expecting to lose, you only want to, like, make presence and maybe make something happen, you let your combo survive, and you lead it with your flank, because your combo can just, like, contribute spam, and then back up if things go bad. Your flank can suicide, and as long as you don't do absolutely nothing to slow them down and just like die uselessly, which can happen at some point, so it's a matter of experience to know when to do it or not. You have the chance of opening up like a push that shouldn't work into a push that will work, and that's basically all you're trying to accomplish, is buy some time. Maybe, if you have some great fragging, you make something happen. But other than that, you just like die and respawn and let your combo come back to you and try again on the next point. And the reason I talk about that is just that off that last push where they had a massive Uber advantage because they'd got the force as the other team pushed across mid, and then they just kept their combo back, and they could have just easily won, because an Uber advantage is enough to win any push as long as you have close enough numbers for it to be reasonable. If you just lead with that combo, you get damage on everybody for free, and then you just come clean up, no problem. If you're trying to clean up with the combo, it's another matter. So, I hopefully you enjoyed this review. Hopefully I'll be able to do a few more, but I will not be very available in the next, several months. So, you may hear from me, you may not hear from me, but hopefully you'll tune into any MGE cast, because I will be doing that from time to time, and hopefully everybody enjoys the ESEA LAN. So, with all that said, this is Sigma, signing out. Have a good day.